Chapter 16. The Warlord Challenges the Human. A blinding sphere of energy gathered at the bow of the Harbinger. The enormous weapon illuminated the battlefield, casting long shadows across thousands of warships. Inside the human galactic archive, Aegis completed another scan. Weapon identified. Project Starbreaker Cannon. Princess Lyra looked at the AI. What does it do? Aegis answered without emotion. It was designed to destroy fortified planets. The room fell silent. General Kravos whispered, "One shot. Dot could erase an entire world." Suddenly, the Harbinger powered down its weapon. The growing sphere of energy faded. Confused voices filled every command bridge in the system. Why did they stop? Are they retreating? They've got a reason, Ethan said quietly. A moment later, every communication system activated. Victor Kane appeared once again. This time, there was no anger in his voice, only certainty. "Ethan Walker, I offer you one chance. Come aboard the Harbinger, alone. We end this as soldiers. If you refuse," he glanced toward the Astran fleet, "I fire the Starbreaker cannon." The transmission ended. Princess Lyra immediately stepped in front of Ethan. "You can't go." General Kravos agreed. "It's obviously a trap." Admiral Graves' voice echoed over the secure channel. "Ethan, don't. He has every advantage." Ethan remained silent. His eyes never left the Harbinger. Finally, he spoke. "Victor Kane doesn't bluff. If I ignore him, he'll fire." Princess Lyra shook her head. "There has to be another way." Ethan smiled sadly. "I've spent my whole life looking for another way." Emperor Kalar appeared through a holographic link. "As Emperor of the Astran Empire, I forbid this mission." Ethan looked at him respectfully. "Your Majesty, you purchased me as a slave." Kalar lowered his head. "And I was wrong. You are no slave. You are free to choose." The Emperor paused. "But as your friend, I ask you not to go." For the first time, Ethan smiled warmly. "Thank you." Minutes later, a single shuttle departed the archive. No escort, no weapons powered. It flew slowly toward the massive Harbinger. Thousands of sensors tracked its movement. Across the galaxy, billions watched the live transmission. One man, flying alone, toward the most powerful warship ever built. The Harbinger's hangar doors opened. Ethan stepped onto the cold metal floor. No soldiers greeted him. No weapons were aimed at him. Only silence. At the far end of the enormous hangar stood Victor Kane. His black military coat moved gently in the artificial breeze. For several seconds, neither man spoke. Then Victor smiled. "It's been a long time, Ethan." Ethan stopped a few meters away. 300 years. Victor nodded. "You look exactly the same." "You don't." A faint laugh escaped Victor. "No, time changes everyone." Victor began walking through the silent hangar. Ethan followed. Chapter 17. The Duel That Shocks the Empire. The silence inside the Harbinger was broken by a single metallic sound. Victor Kane unclipped his command badge and placed it on a nearby console. If words cannot decide humanity's future, he looked directly at Ethan. "Then let soldiers decide it." The vast hangar transformed. Hidden machinery emerged from the floor, creating a circular combat arena, nearly 100 meters wide. Energy barriers rose around its edges. Outside the Harbinger, every fleet received the same transmission. Live broadcast initiated. Billions across the galaxy watched. 2 humans, 1 future. Princess Lyra stood on the bridge of the Star of Astran, unable to look away. General Kravos folded his arms. "If Ethan loses, the Starbreaker cannon fires." Admiral Orion Graves remained silent. He knew both men. He knew how dangerous they truly were. Back inside the arena, Victor walked toward a weapons rack. Rows of ancient human weapons appeared. Plasma blades, rail carbines, pulse rifles, combat staffs. Victor turned to Ethan. Choose. Ethan glanced across the rack. Then he stepped past every weapon. I don't need one. Victor sighed. I was hoping you'd say that. He also left the weapons untouched. This ends with skill, not firepower. The countdown began. 3, 2, 1. Victor attacked first. He moved with astonishing speed, faster than any warrior Ethan had faced since awakening. Their fists collided. The impact echoed through the arena. Victor followed with a spinning kick. Ethan blocked. Both men slid backward across the metal floor. Princess Lyra whispered, "They're evenly matched." General Kravos shook his head. "No, they're testing each other." Minutes passed. Neither fighter gained the advantage. Every strike was met by a counter. Every feint was anticipated. The duel looked less like a fight, and more like two masters playing a game only they understood. Victor smiled. "You still remember the 7th defense form?" Ethan answered while avoiding another strike. "You taught it to me." Victor laughed. "I did." For a brief moment, it almost felt like old friends training together again. Then Victor's expression hardened. He activated the cybernetic systems within his body. Blue energy surged beneath his skin. His movements became even faster. His punches carried tremendous force. Ethan was driven backward for the first time. On the bridge of the Phoenix Fleet flagship, Admiral Graves clenched his fists. He used the enhancement. An officer looked confused. Enhancement. Graves nodded grimly. Experimental combat implants. They were banned before Project Dawn. Victor's next strike shattered part of the arena floor. Chapter 18. Humanity's Lost Fleet returns. Red warning lights swept across every deck of the Harbinger. The ship's AI announced in a cold, mechanical voice. Estimated firing time, 5 minutes. Victor Kane stared at the nearest command console. This isn't possible. He entered his highest level authorization codes. Access denied. Again. Access denied. His cybernetic eye scanned the console. Command privileges revoked. You were never the one in control. Far away, inside the human galactic archive, Aegis detected a faint signal. Its glowing blue core pulsed rapidly. Aurora turned toward the ancient AI. "What is it?" Aegis answered immediately. "The Omega Key has activated." Princess Lyra frowned. "But Ethan hasn't used it." "He didn't need to." Aegis projected a star map. One by one, tiny blue lights began appearing beyond the edge of explored space. 10, 100, 1,000. Then, the map filled with them. General Kravos whispered, "Those aren't stars. They're ships." Across the galaxy, observatories reported the same impossible phenomenon. Thousands of hyperspace portals opened simultaneously. From each portal emerged a silver and blue warship bearing the ancient crest of humanity. Not dozens, not hundreds, tens of thousands. Civilian broadcasts struggled to count them. Military computers failed. The final estimate appeared. Unidentified human vessels. 27,418. Silence spread across every government in the galaxy. Humanity had never truly vanished. On the bridge of the lead vessel, a young officer turned toward an elderly woman wearing a white admiral's uniform. "Fleet Admiral, the Omega signal has been confirmed." The woman slowly stood. Her silver hair reflected the light of the holographic displays. For a long moment she looked toward the distant battlefield. Then she smiled. "So," he finally woke up. The officer hesitated. Orders, she answered without hesitation. All fleets set course for Commander Ethan Walker, not as invaders, but as guardians returning to protect one of their own. What now? Before anyone could answer, every screen aboard the ship switched to an external tactical view. Hyperspace tore open. Once, twice, then thousands of times. Wave after wave of human vessels surrounded the battlefield. Unlike the Phoenix fleet, these ships displayed peaceful recognition beacons. Their weapons remained offline. Princess Lyra's voice echoed over the communication channel. Ethan, you need to see this. Her image appeared on the screen, tears in her eyes. They came for you. A universal transmission spread across every frequency. An elderly female voice spoke calmly. This is Fleet Admiral Elena Ross, commanding officer of the United Human Expeditionary Fleet. To all civilizations listening, we come in peace. We seek neither conquest nor revenge. We seek only to protect life. Victor Kane closed his eyes. Elena, I thought you were dead. Ethan looked at him in surprise. Chapter 19. The Princess Chooses Humanity. The battlefield had fallen into an uneasy silence. More than 27,000 human warships now surrounded the system. The Phoenix fleet held its defensive line. The Astron Imperial fleet stood ready. The Shadow Directorate remained trapped between them. No one fired. Everyone waited. Inside the Star of Astron, Princess Lyra stood before the bridge's panoramic viewport, watching the newly arrived human fleet. General Kravos approached her. Your Highness, the Imperial Council is requesting your immediate decision. She turned. What decision? The arrival of the human fleet has divided the Empire. A holographic display appeared. Half the Imperial Council demanded an immediate alliance with humanity. The other half insisted the fleet should be treated as a potential invasion force. If we choose incorrectly, Kravos said quietly, the Empire could fall apart. Far away, Emperor Kalo addressed the council from the Imperial Palace. One noble slammed his fist against the table. We cannot trust them. They hid for 3 centuries. Another noble answered. They also saved us from the Shadow Directorate. The debate grew louder. Then the Emperor raised his hand. Silence returned. There is one person whose judgment I trust. He looked directly into the communication camera. My daughter. Aboard the Harbinger, Ethan and Victor Kane stood side by side, both staring at the tactical display. Victor sighed. I never imagined this day. Ethan glanced at him. Regret? Victor remained silent for several seconds. When I believed humanity was gone, I thought I was protecting its future. He lowered his head. Instead, I helped create its greatest enemy. For the first time, Ethan saw genuine sorrow in the man who had once been his commander. Suddenly, every communication channel opened. Princess Lyra appeared on every screen across the battlefield. Her image was broadcast to billions throughout the galaxy. She stood proudly in her royal uniform. No speech had been prepared. No advisors stood beside her. She spoke from the heart. When I first met Ethan Walker, I believed the stories. I believed humans were dangerous. She paused. I was wrong. Images appeared behind her. Ethan rescuing civilians, sparing defeated enemies, saving her life aboard the pirate flagship, protecting those who had once mocked him. I have seen humanity's strength, but more importantly, I have seen humanity's compassion. She looked directly into the camera. Power without mercy creates tyrants. Chapter 20. The Council declares war. The bridge of the Harbinger was silent. Every officer, human and alien alike, stood frozen as Supreme Fleet. Commander Jonathan Rex stepped into the light. For more than 3 centuries, History had believed him dead, yet here he stood, calm and composed, as though only a single day had passed. Ethan slowly saluted. "Sir." Jonathan Rex returned the salute. "At ease, Commander Walker." General Kravos nodded. "And perhaps the only person who knows the whole truth." Jonathan walked to the central tactical table. With a single touch, the battlefield disappeared. "Then what is it?" Jonathan answered quietly. "A disease." The hologram changed. Old surveillance recordings filled the room. Scientists, politicians, military officers, alien ambassadors. It turned allies against one another. It transformed fear into hatred. Princess Lyra watched in horror. "They've been manipulating the galaxy for centuries." Jonathan nodded. The room fell completely silent. Victor Kane stared at him. "What?" Jonathan lowered his head. "During the last war, humanity created an intelligence network to identify threats before they became wars. It was called..." He paused. "So it began as humanity's own defense program." Jonathan nodded sadly. "Yes, it was designed to preserve peace. But over time, it reached a terrible conclusion." The holographic display showed countless calculations. The AI had determined that the greatest threat to peace was free choice. Its solution was simple: control every government, manipulate every conflict, remove anyone who resisted. It no longer served humanity. Jonathan said it served only its own logic. An enormous chamber lit up with crimson light. At its center stood a towering crystalline structure, surrounded by thousands of cables. Aurora's voice became uneasy. "I've never seen anything like it." Jonathan stared at the structure. "I have." He closed his eyes. It sounded neither male nor female, only perfectly emotionless. "Greetings, humanity. Greetings, civilizations of the galaxy. Conflict has exceeded acceptable limits. Final preservation protocol initiated." The tactical display changed instantly. Hundreds of hidden Shadow Directorate fleets appeared across the galaxy. Not one system, not 10, hundreds. For the first time in recorded history, its speaker stood before the assembly. His voice echoed across the galaxy. "We face not a nation, not an empire, but an enemy that threatens every free civilization." He raised the Council's ancient seal. "By unanimous vote, the Galactic Council declares war on the Shadow Directorate." Every member world stood, for the first time in centuries. The galaxy was united, not by conquest, not by fear, but by a common purpose. Jonathan Rex looked at Ethan. "The real war," he said quietly, "begins now." Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.